Hello, everybody, and welcome to the
Phantom Flux podcast.
Welcome to
nope,
that's not it.
nope.
This is the anime reflux.
Oh,
Hi. Uh, so we're in a bit of a time crunch because once again I have a doctor's appointment. My bad. I won't be doing that again. I keep making that mistake. So Psychic Detective Yakumo is the thing that we're doing this week, and yeah, first thing Zero said after watching it was, "This is pretty Chuuni," and yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm kind of
how's
on
it?
that.
How's it, Chuuni?
my red right eye can see the souls of the dead.
The essence of the human soul is darkness.
Darkness.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking Chuuni. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Okay, now I see what you guys mean.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, wasn't his red eye the left one?
I think in the intro it was both, but
I don't
that
know.
contact fell out. Well, that's what it implied.
Yeah.
Well, we use
So-
contact lens to make it not look red.
So, show starts with girl who is going to see the psychic detective, and she walks in and he just won a card game.
He's doing a card trick, like the reading what is on the card
Yeah.
and stuff.
And she's like, hey, I heard that from a friend that you could help people with problems like the ones that I have with the ghosts. Yeah. And his immediate reaction is pay me.
Get money.
And she's well, I think a little bit before that, she actually tells the story of, so yeah, we're going to that old schoolhouse, and I swear I am so tired of them using the old schoolhouse for every single thing that's supernatural.
Yeah.
Why does every Japanese school in an anime have an quote old schoolhouse?
Yeah, do they not just, like, use the buildings anymore? Just like, this building's shit, let's build an entirely new one.
And leave this where it stands.
To rot and do literally nothing. And have an old piano in it.
It's annoying, and it doesn't really, like, you're not breaking any new ground here when you do that. You're just kind of treading old ground, and like, we know what's going to happen. Like, when you do that,
Ironically, it is the old schoolhouse of, tropes.
yeah.
It is the one that really probably should just be abandoned and moved on.
Hang on. I'm going to Google whether old schoolhouse is an actual TV trope. If not, holy shit, it should be.
Yeah.
Because every single, like, whether it be like a horror game that's Japanese or any sort of horror anime, anything with a supernatural element.
Just supernatural elements. Like, I
Yeah.
talk about it way too much, but DxD did the same thing. Don't correct me, Weasel. I know you want to.
I was going to, but I was a little distracted with this.
Oh,
Yeah, old
it
school
is.
building.
Yep.
It is a TV trope.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Of course it is. I mean, I don't know why I suspected otherwise, but yeah, that's. Good God.
I like that one of the first results that comes up when I click anime and manga was Ghost Hunt.
Yeah. We've done like 3 or 4 of these anime in a row, and I'm pretty sure like 3 of the 4 of them have had the old schoolhouse trope.
Yeah, it's.
Okay, I am so sick of this. Maybe it's just having done one after another, but I'm so sick of this shit by now.
It's not.
Actually,
it's bad.
They have the old school building trope in Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches, but after it's relevant, they never mention it or show it again.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the case in this one. This is just the introductory episode, and hey, that's a thing, and it's the old schoolhouse, and then they're going to move on from it and never actually talk about it again. But
I read the manga
still,
for Yamada-kun. I can't remember what they did with that old schoolhouse. Did it burn down?
They tried to stop it. They stopped it from burning down, actually.
Gosh darn it! They should have let it burn down.
I know, right?
Kind of. I mean, why just leave the building there? I mean, yeah,
Okay, we should talk about the show.
decommission the building, and demolish it and build something else there if you're gonna do it. Make a fucking tennis court for all I care. Just something. I thought Japan was against wasted space. Jesus.
I know, right?
Well, this is fantasy school where things fantastical happen, like kids committing suicide after being possessed by spirits in class, apparently.
Oh, they didn't do that. Oh, that's...
Yeah. No,
Okay.
that's jumping ahead. Okay, so she tells her story of I went in with my friends, and
I feel I should clarify something important for later. 6 friends went into the building, but only 4 went into the piano room.
yeah, because they were trying to be considerate of a couple who were probably just making out
Yep,
or something.
pretty much. That's the implication.
And so they went in and spooky ghosts start appearing, and I was actually kind of bored with their way they did the ghosts.
Well, at the very least, like, compared to the other shows that we've done in this genre,
Yeah.
we've done very, very recently, at least they're not fucking around.
Yeah, no, this was better, but I was still kind of bored. She's telling her story to a detective man who's all curled up on the couch and comfy, and she's like, yeah, and then like one of my friends got possessed by spirit and is in the hospital at like during homeroom. She just kind of freaked out. And another person jumped off the roof the other day, so like he totally wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and the
so
guy says, "Did you see him jump?" And she's like, "No." Then he's like, "Well, we can't assume it's like to do with ghosts, and he didn't just jump of his own volition."
Yeah. So, yeah. Then he asks her. He's like, "Pay me," and then she figures out the trick to how he like looked at a mirror for the whole card trick, and she's like, "Oh, he's just a con man."
Yeah.
Did we
And
mention
he's like, "You're the first one to." He's like, "You're the first one to figure out that trick," and then she's like, "Yeah, whatever," and I'm gonna leave.
What was saying?
And then
Did we mention that he was doing a card guessing game when she walked in?
yeah, we mentioned that.
Oh, okay.
And as she starts to leave and is making a fuss, he finally looks at her and he seems to recognize her or something. And then he's like, you know what? Never mind. I'll totally help you out for free.
No, he says, "Hey, before you leave, you have a sister, and she died, and it was a traffic accident and stuff."
I can see the spirits of the dead and talk to them. I can't exorcise them, but we can have a nice chat. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, jumping in from that, I mean, you could assume, like, he doesn't say he's actually psychic, and she actually disproves that he's actually psychic, as in can read minds and such. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe you would have to be really thinking about it to actually twig into, hey, he knows a hell of a lot about my sister, and he can see the dead. But she doesn't. But she's like, okay, let's do the thing and figure this out and stuff. Cool.
Yeah. And they go to the hospital to see her friend, and her friend's like all freaking out. And he looks and he looks at her friend, and he's like, "Yeah, she's totally possessed. She has like 4 girls growing out of her.
Yeah, 4 quadruplets apparently.
Like either she's possessed or she's possessed and pregnant. I don't know which, but we got some problems here." And he has a silent conversation with them that we don't find out what like. He's like, "Okay, I see. Yeah, him." And then we're like, "What? What are you saying?" And they leave, and he's like, "Yeah, she's totally possessed. We should probably go do some stuff. Go to the old schoolhouse and whatnot. Because like this thing with spirits of the dead is they stick around either where they were killed or where their bodies are left. And so those girls were murdered, and so their bodies are probably in the old schoolhouse or they were murdered there.
Yeah. And I think
yeah.
it's at this point that we find out that, hey, another one of the kids has committed suicide.
Dun, dun, dun. Another one bites the dust. Teacher-san, Mr. Sensei over there,
Yeah,
walks
no one
over.
remembers his name. I don't remember any of the characters' names, to be honest.
Yeah, no, they're not memorable at all. So then he walks over and he's like, hey, so another one of your friends committed suicide. She's like, oh, that's terrible. He's like, yeah, well, whatever.
So, the four of you went into the old schoolhouse, right? And into the forbidden chamber? Yeah.
Yeah.
You
They're like
done
three
that.
others with you, right?
It must be ghosts. You shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. And you don't know what you're messing with. And, yeah. No police or anything tell her this. It's good old Sensei.
Yeah.
You think the police would be around or something.
Spoiler alert, he did it.
Yeah.
So, Psychic Detective Yakumo, who I actually do remember his name. Conveniently, it was in the title, so it makes it easy. He follows the girl home because he's concerned. Sure.
He's like, I gotta bodyguard you because somebody probably wants to murder you or something. Haha. There's a human you have to worry about.
It's not a ghost hunting you; it's a human.
And
he doesn't tell her who or anything.
Yeah.
Useful information like that, like, hey, maybe you should stay away from that teacher guy that wants to murder you, because he knows at this point. Let's not mince words about that. The ghost told him who the killer was.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you who the killer is, but I am going to tell you, hey, there's a human hunting you.
Oh well.
I
forget what happens next.
Afterwards, they try to get to the old schoolhouse, but they're like, you need to talk to Mr. Takaoka. And I think that's the teacher's name, because he's the guy in charge of the old schoolhouse.
I think it was Sataoka or something along those
No,
lines.
Takaoka.
Okay. I don't know. No one remembers.
It's not important.
It really isn't.
I remember Takaoka because I remember that being a fun name to say. And they go out and...
Tacos.
Yeah, tacos. And he notices, hey, there's a whole bunch of stuff just kind of buried here lazily. Like they didn't even cover everything up. Wow. This seems suspicious. I mean, they didn't even throw this in the incinerator or something.
It's a Japanese school. We know it has an incinerator.
Yeah. Japanese schools do have incinerators. So,
So they meet with a detective, an actual detective, and hand over the stuff.
Goto, I think his name was?
I don't remember actually getting his name in this one.
Well, actually, first, before that, there's the scene in the cafeteria where he actually does tell her, oh yeah, it was Mr. Takaoka. He murdered the girls and everything.
Oh.
And then he goes to the trash when Mr. Takaoka leaves and takes out the cup that the guy threw away, and he's like, this is all the evidence we needed.
I don't remember the scene, but, I'm half asleep, so...
Which... I don't think you're allowed to do that because stuff that people throw away in a trash like that becomes property of the school. It's all weird. I don't know how Japanese laws work though, so I don't know. And so he explains, yeah, Mr. Takaoka totally murdered them because they went in the chamber and there were 6 of you, but he only knew there were 4, and you wouldn't have known there were 4 that actually went in unless you were there. He was hiding in the basement like a creeper, doing things to dead bodies or whatever. I don't know. And
I can't dispute any of this, unfortunately.
And then they meet with the detective, Gato, and he's like, "Hey, so I have this evidence. Go take it to a specialist." And Gunna's like, yeah, sure. Hey, make sure to, rein that girl of yours in, so she don't leave you.
Hey, you're with a girl. You banging? You banging?
Yeah, you're
You
totally
banging?
banging, right? I mean, you're not. That's not your client or anything, right?
I mean,
Uh,
it's not like you're just opposite sex friends. You're totally banging, right?
and
Fairness, the girl does have a cute character design. I want to mention that. The character
yeah,
designs on this are kind of on point.
yeah, she does have a really cute character design. And so they leave the detective with the evidence, and he's like, yeah, the police will get it all sorted out now. It depends on how long takes them to actually get an opinion from the specialist.
Yeah, forensics and stuff. And
And
so, detective and girl go into hiding, basically. Overnight. Or
yeah,
day.
they're like, we're just going to stay in my office, and
It's actually a classroom.
yeah, my quote unquote office.
He's just freeloading there.
Yeah, and don't leave or wander the halls by yourself, because somebody is after you. That somebody is a teacher, and for some reason we're hiding in the school.
Yeah, now that you mention it, is really, really dumb.
I mean, we could I don't know, go over to. You could stay at home and be perfectly fine, but no, you're going to stay in the school. I don't understand why.
Because the writers on this weren't very good.
Yeah, no, the writers on this were terrible.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm not good at things either.
Credit to the guys that did the music, though, because they were trying so very hard.
Yeah, the music's
adorable.
good.
They were trying so hard to make this seem like emotional and powerful moments and stuff, and the writing just wasn't on their side.
Yeah, no. Even I could tell from the dialogue, there's no nuance to it or any sort of subtlety to it. The dialogue is just badly written. And that is just indicative of this entire episode. It's just not great. I feel like they're relying on the guy to be hot as their main selling point rather than any decent writing.
Well, to be fair, he was hot.
Yeah, but it's generic hot guy design number 409,000, 67.
Yeah. It's generic hot guy design, dark, brooding, enigma, Model 4.
And tsundere.
With no real personality.
Yeah, to quote TV tropes, one second. I'll copy paste it so it doesn't spoil the readers.
By the way, Model 4 is the one that's Chuuni as fuck as well.
Yeah. So if I'm bored to death that day and have errands to run nearby, I might make an appearance to your blankety blank. Yeah.
Okay, 0. I copy pasted that in text so you guys could read it and not spoil the viewers.
I didn't.
Oh no, we spoiled them on this magnificent show that they should totally watch.
Fair point.
No, really, the character is not complex or nuanced at all. There's literally nothing to these characters except good design on the girl.
Yeah, visual designs are solid. Nothing wrong with them. They're not, gonna blow anyone away or anything, but they're solid. Emotionally and mentally and vocally, they are not great. They are flat as a sheet of paper.
Yeah.
Something to note: this anime has no English dub.
It does not, no.
Let's see. Also,
in fairness, they've dubbed 6 of these shows. I bet even the dubbers are sick of them.
Yeah, no doubt. Also, turns out that what he did was, hey, I collected all of these girls' possessions that were lazily buried, not even buried well. You could have had a scene where a ghost leads him to where the stuff was buried, and that could have been cool. But no, they're just kind of not even buried.
He like dug a hole, put him in, put some dirt on top of him,
but not a lot.
Yeah. So if we could move on because I've got like 15 minutes.
Okay.
To go.
No. Okay. So
the detective does forensics
yeah.
on the stuff and finds out, yeah, it's all the same fingerprints, and the fingerprints on these are all people that are dead who gone missing.
Yeah. So we have some pretty good evidence for putting this guy away. And so girl obviously decides, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. And he's like, detective dude is like, don't wander the hallways. And she's like, haha, yeah. And then she decides to, and then she goes and she washes her hands. She's all at the bathroom and she leaves. And oh, hey, there's a teacher. Oh, wow, I wasn't expecting this. It's not like they're at a school or anything. And then teacher decides to kidnap her, and he's like, instead of killing you immediately, I'm just going to kind of tie you up and gag you, and you're going to go missing. Okay, there we go. This is a smart plan. I thought this through completely.
Yeah, the tying her up bit was probably kind of pointless, to be honest.
He knocked her out. He could have just killed her.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that would have been completely fine, and like he would have gone. Well, he would. There's not. He wouldn't have gone away with it, but at the very least, he wouldn't have had to deal with the rest of this crap.
He wanted to monologue. That's why he did it.
Yeah, but why? He didn't monologue to the others, did he?
Probably. I mean, that one guy jumped off the roof, so maybe there was like an extended scene that we didn't get to see of the two having a really long conversation where the teacher reveals his master plan, and but unfortunately you're not going to see it live up to its fruition, and boosh, and pushes him off the roof.
Yeah, whatever. And then
this is the kind of show that would have that scene. I imagine it was on the cutting
I
room
know. then random hot guy runs in, and he's like, it's like, hey, I'm gonna get you. And then the teacher hits him with the like wooden thing he has instead of actually having.
He unties her first, and then she's like, "Wait, the teacher's there!" She couldn't have somehow alerted him to the teacher's presence while she was still tied up, like, flick her head over there in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Also, why the hell is the teacher using a wooden board to kill her? Like, really?
Again, school probably has baseball bats, some sort of sports equipment.
I mean, not only is that going to be like, it's going to take more than one hit. You're going to get blood everywhere, and it's just going to be a mess.
Knife from the cafeteria, maybe.
Yeah, he's not a smart murderer for somebody who apparently murdered 3 other people or 2 other people or before, and even more in the past. So, yeah, the writing on this is convenient for the characters, which is it's annoying. And so he hits the detective with the wooden board because we can't have anything fatal hit him.
Somehow this magically knocks out one of his contact lenses that looks like a pebble for some reason.
Yeah,
I thought it was a button at first.
It's animated really weirdly and it's drawn really weirdly. And he's like, I have my red eye. You see it now. And the teacher's like, what? What's going on here? A red eye? Oh.
What does that mean? It means I can see ghosts.
Oh,
wait. What does that do for your combat ability? Does that actually benefit you in this situation?
Oh no, I'm gonna throw this wooden thing away and run for no reason. Like I said, it's convenient for the characters.
Yeah.
It is so poorly written that, say what you want about Ghost Hunt, at least that had better writing than this. Like, you had characters trying to figure out, okay, what's wrong with the ghost? It's probably the house. And they were, looking at it as a problem.
It was basically all of the psychics, or quote-unquote psychics, just cold reading each other for 20 minutes. And while that was annoying and ploddingly paced, it was something. It was writing, and we had distinct characterizations for all of them.
Yeah.
This Yakumo thing is generic as fuck.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And I still don't understand why the guy decided to, oh no, I'm gonna run away. I still have a weapon, and I have these 2 people that I've already
And he apparently had gasoline stashed on the premises.
Yeah, so he runs away, he throws gasoline down, and
He
then
runs
he's like...
away and is left alone for long enough to pour gasoline over the school building and then light it on fire.
Apparently he had matches and gasoline.
Like, and it's like, okay, now look, things are dramatic. Go. And they start, so girl and detective are like, we need to get out of here. And she's like, put the staircases on fire. And he's like, I already memorized the map of the building. And I'm like, shut up. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, really? That comment was Chuuni as fuck.
That's awful.
By studying the plans of this building, I know that there is another staircase exactly opposite to this one. Like in, most buildings.
Yeah, no. Like, shut up.
So, actual police detective is waiting outside when the teacher runs up to him and, arrest happens. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. And he calls in some other people to actually rescue them because our detective and girl somehow made it up to the roof. And like, yeah, we're just gonna sit here up on the roof
while everything burns down around us. Going up during a fire, that's smart.
Yeah. Did you study that on the building plans, smartass?
I mean, you could have like broken a window and gone out or something, but
no.
So then they're sitting on the roof of the burning building and decide to have a nice little chat for some reason. And so
flames rolling all around them, and they have a nice little chat.
And so he's like, "So hey, why'd you decide to even come down to this old school building in the first place?" And she's like, "Oh, well, you see, I thought I could see the ghost of my sister because one of the rumors was you could hear like Chopin's whatchamacallit on the piano." And I'm like, that sound. And she's like, my sister used to practice that a lot. And I'm like, well, I'm probably sure people who play piano probably practice that song a lot too.
Yeah,
so
being Chopin, one of the great piano composers.
So you literally had nothing to go on for this. And then he's like, hey, well, she tells the full story of like, oh yeah, so I threw the balls too hard when I was a kid, and my sister chased it like an idiot and ran out into the street and died, and it's my fault that she was an idiot.
She got hit by a truck, but don't worry, she's in a fantasy world right now.
And so, yeah, and so he's like, well, your sister doesn't blame you, and she totally was the one who showed me how to get to you. And she's like, really? He's like, yeah, you want to meet her? And she's like, okay. So he grabs her face. He's like, close your eyes. And I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden, she's with her sister. And her sister's like, hey, you can do fine on your own. And she's like, oh. And she starts crying. And what?
And the
what
music
just happened?
swells and such. And detective guy is doing his weird Chuuni poses where he covers his face and looks through the fingers through the eye. And we didn't even mention that he does this through the entire show. Of just those stupid facial poses. Good God.
He does. It's awful. and so, like, the music was good. And it was like, if this was a good anime with good writing, I might have cried.
Yeah,
but no.
I've gone on record as saying it is really, really easy to make me cry, and I got a little weepy, even though I really knew I fucking shouldn't.
Like I started to kind of like choke up, but then that turned into gagging because I'm like, no, this is awful. It was because like, the dude has the power to see ghosts, right?
Yeah,
that comes up like 2, maybe 3 times this entire show.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having a ghost, the ghost of her friends, for example, which were murdered there, leave them out, which would be interesting and would be kind of, a cool thing. Or instead of having, like, he can see ghosts, he can talk to them, he could actually have used that for a lot of different occasions in this that would have been interesting. Instead, the writer seems to disregard that in exchange for choosing to be convenient for the main characters.
And again, like, the detective guy brings it up at the most random of places. Like, why even mention that when, the teacher just attacked him. Why bring it up? That has literally nothing to do with the situation.
Why are they still sitting on the roof while it's on fire? Why did they go to the roof?
Why didn't they climb over the balcony? There was only 2 stories on the building. So why not just climb over the balcony and either try and climb down the outside or just jump off? It's like a 10-foot fall, maybe you break a leg, but you won't burn to death.
What makes it really interesting is the police detective that they called is right down there. And he's calling in reinforcements, and he could totally catch them if they wanted to climb down and jump.
Yep. They're both skinny as fuck. That's how the character designs are. So, yeah.
Well, they were going to, but then a big plume of fire exploded right in front of them.
Yeah, shut up. No.
The plume of fire exploded right in front of them, and then died down like fire tends to do.
Yeah. No, it's awful, and...
Oh, yeah, and this dude and this chick who wear sunglasses at night telling a guy that if he helps them, they'll resurrect his daughter, and it's like the set up some Chuuni villains.
There's another dude who's like, the
nature of the human soul is darkness, and
darkness.
We have like 5 minutes. We need to choose a new one.
Okay.
This one sucked. I think we've established that pretty well by now.
Oh,
okay, Casey, you got the list?
I have a list.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a number now. So 1 to 27. Let's go. 5.
5's E. E has 21. And funnily enough, the 21st entry is I Shield 21.
Okay, 9.
9. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Why am I doing this way? They're numbered. Elemental something. Bear with me.
Okay, if it's that the first word of that isn't very interesting.
It is not, no. Oh, there it is. Okay. Elemental Gallade.
I've heard of that one. It's an old one.
Oh.
After a routine raid, the rookie Sky Pirate...
Oh, I know this one.
Finds a most unusual cargo in his mate's cargo hold. Reverie Methalance, or Ren, as she prefers to be called, an Edel Reed. Or Raid. I'm not... Pronunciation's going to be...
She's a girl that turns into a sword. There we go.
Yeah, granting special combat power to their powers through reacting. He quickly discovers, however, that Ren is even more prized than he expected. The pirate ship is visited by 3 members of the Edelraid Complete Protection Agency, Arc Air. IRCPA is the acronym of that. That's nice. We try to purchase her. When Cowed refuses, the ship is suddenly attacked by a mysterious force, and Cowed's captain charges him with Ren's protection. Good for him being Cowed instead of Cloud. I'm sure there was copyright reasons for that particular naming convention.
So Elemental Gallade was a show that I was like, I kind of like the character designs. I can try it out. Then I watched like the first episode. I'm like, yeah. Then I watched like part of the second episode. I'm like, yeah, this is boring. So.
All right, so I'm going to link that so that everybody knows.
Yeah, I got bored and fell off the series way back. So I don't know. Maybe it's better than I remember.
Maybe.
Or maybe it's worse than I remember.
Who knows? Yeah, so Yakumo sucks. Like, just in general.
Yeah, Yakumo is a show that somebody wrote because they wanted to write something about a hot guy, and they have no idea how to actually write.
Yeah, pretty much.
So. Bad.
I was going to make a really mean comparison, but it probably doesn't deserve to be called quite so bad as the Twilight of the, psychic detective subgenre.
No,
it's not that bad. That's not a fair comparison at all.
At the very least, it had production value.
Those music guys deserve an award, just as
you
tried so hard.
You tried
so
you tried.
because the music was so strong, it almost made me tear up.
Yeah.
On its own.
Good for the music guys. Those guys did a bang-up job. Unfortunately, literally everyone else dropped the ball.
So bad.
Except for the voice actors as well. They were trying as well. So
I've been getting like madder and madder at this show as we've been going on, and you can probably tell because like it falls apart at the seams if you look at it too closely.
Mm-hmm.
Or look at it.
Unfortunately, that's kind of the basic premise of this show, and our jobs here is to look at it closely, and it does not stand up to such scrutiny at all.
If you're like, oh man, hot guy, then sure.
Like I mentioned earlier when we were discussing it before the show began, I enjoyed it, but it was ironic enjoyment.
Yeah, it is kind of you will laugh at this when it's supposed to be dramatic and cool, but that's also a kind of enjoyment.
My red eye can see spirits.
So cutie.
I can see the spirits of the dead and talk to them. Oh, look at the opening. I wanted to say this real quick before we end. The opening was okay. It was actually not that bad. Thanks, music guys, for being decent.
It had punch to it. Again, mostly thanks to the music guys.
Thanks, music guys.
Gold star sticker that says you tried.
Okay, so I think we pretty much covered that show. It was fun in a certain definition of fun.
All right.
Ironic fun.
It's a shiny turd is what it is. With a clown sticker on it.
And a bit of corn in it.
Oh!
Because it's corny. Get it?
Yeah. That's what I was going for. Alright, end this already.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
We're doing the fucking elemental something.
Elemental
Gallade.
Yeah.
It's Pokemon, all about the male God of War thing.
Yeah. Gallade.
I was thinking that.